Mark, question for you, just in terms of, we do have one of the things we all love about living and working in the hills is the dynamic culture that we have sort of out here. A lot of startup businesses, small businesses. We do have obviously a few big ones like your ResMeds and Woolies. But how do you think that is that an attraction for people to come to a community where there's lots of innovation and small businesses, or do you think it hinders us in some way?
I think it's a real strong brand. A community or local identity brand is the entrepreneurialism here and the small business nature of things. I mean, firstly, it's part of the Australian identity, this small business nation, and it's part of the local identity as well. And the Hills does have a different identity, a different brand, if you like, to other areas of Sydney. There's a lot of talk now about Sydney being a city of cities, and the Hills is its own city, it's its own culture. It's got a higher proportion of students than the Sydney average, a higher proportion of people completing university degrees. So it's got that youth cohort. It's got a strong focus on education, and independent schools are very strong in this area, as we know, and then the flow through to higher education. But it's also punches above its weight in terms of business, and I mentioned those business ownership figures as well here. Whereas other areas of Sydney, you head further west and it's more a trade space. You head to the lower North Shore, it's more professionals. But here it's very entrepreneurial. And in this era where it's about innovation, it's about adaptation, it's about smart nation, I think we've got such fertile terrain here with an educated, emerging, diverse, hardworking, entrepreneurial base. With a strong business history, I think the time is right for this area, and it is very attractive. You've got chartered offices, so you can do a little startup here. You've got a lot of business services that can support startups. So I think it's got a lot going for it, and I think that's really going to attract that next generation of innovation. We'll see some of it change from small business that might be a bit more around professional services and into more of the high-tech side of things, into that coding, into the STEM areas, into the high-end sort of analytics. We're starting to see a change even in the mix of businesses here, and that's going to future-proof this area even further.